and welcome back to today's video. I'm actually filming with a brand new camera lens today, so I hope it looks good. Let me know what you guys think of the quality. I just got it yesterday. So before we get into anything, if you guys have not subscribed yet to my channel, I hope you will subscribe. It is the first link in my description box, and make sure you guys have your notification bell turned on so you get notified of future videos. I'm going to be doing my notification squad shout out today, and today's shout out goes to JockGirl74. Thank you so much for having your notification bell turned on. You are awesome. I'm going to put your message somewhere here on the screen so everyone can see. So today's video is going to be all about the brand new Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation. So I went to Sephora yesterday and I saw they had all the foundations out for display. My Sephora has a pretty big Huda Beauty display. It's pretty new actually. And I decided to go ahead and grab 2 samples of colors, and hopefully you guys are okay with that. I didn't buy the full bottle. I wanted to see if I liked it first. This is the first time I'm doing a foundation review with just product samples, but I mean, it's the foundation, just a smaller sample size of it. So hopefully you guys don't mind. I wanted to come on here and test it out and let you guys know my thoughts on it and how it wore on me. Because I have oily skin, because I'm acne prone, I feel like it could be helpful for a lot of you who have similar skin to mine, so we can really test it out and see what it's like on that skin type. It's been super hyped up on Huda's social media. She always teases out her products like 6 months in advance, so by the time it actually releases, we're all kind of wondering, like, is it really good? Like, it makes you really want to try it. If you guys are curious to find out more about the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation, how it wears on my skin throughout the day, how it applies, then just keep on watching. I'm going to get into everything right now. So I have 2 shades. I have Creme Brulee 150G, and I also have a sample of 130G, which is called Panna Cotta. I love that she like made these dessert names for each shade. I think that is really, really cute. So the foundation is described as a velvety smooth liquid foundation that delivers full coverage and an airbrush finish for a second skin look. But then something I thought was weird was that on the Sephora website, it's described as medium coverage and it says the finish is natural, but on Huda's Snapchat, she described it as very full coverage and like you only needed 1 pump of foundation and that should be good enough for your entire face. So I'm not sure why it says the finish is natural instead of full coverage on here. It says it's packed with ultra fine pigments that visually diminish the appearance of blemishes, conceal hyperpigmentation, smooth skin, and blur imperfections. And then it does say using as little as 1 pump. It says if you have oily skin, set it with a thin layer of translucent powder. And I also heard her saying on her Snapchat or Instagram stories the other day that she does recommend to set it with a loose powder. So I'm wondering if it's going to be more of a dewy kind of finish. In the line there are 30 shades. I'll put them up on the screen here so you guys can see. There are definitely more lighter shades than there are darker shades. I think you should have a pretty decent time finding a shade match. There are a lot of options. 30 options for a foundation shade is a lot. When I was watching her yesterday, she said that she is going to expand the shade range. So this is $40 at Sephora, and that's where I picked up my samples from. And I was looking at the bottle in the store, and the bottle looked really nice when I saw it in person. Very luxurious. The only thing though I didn't like was that, and I'll put a picture of the bottle here because obviously I don't have it because I only got samples, but the bottle had like this ombre effect to it where it went from light and then all the way down to dark. And I kind of found myself like struggling to look at the color inside the bottle. I prefer to have just a clear bottle with no sort of ombre on it because I feel like when I was looking at it, it kind of was affecting the shade. I wish it was just a clear glass so it was just easy to see. So Panna Cotta, which is the first sample I got, is described as fair skin tones with golden undertone. And then Creme Brulee is described as deep fair skin tone with golden undertone. So this one is a little bit darker than Panna Cotta. I'm going to do swatches. I will insert them here so you guys can see what they look like swatched. I think Creme Brulee is going to be a better match, but I'm just going to do a little test and see. So that's Creme Brulee. Yeah, so looking at these 2 swatches, I think that this one right here is too light for me, and this one I think is going to be a much better match. So I'm going to go ahead and do Creme Brulee all over my face. So I already moisturized. I used my Neutrogena Hydro Boost Gel Moisturizer, and for primer, I've really been liking the Wet n Wild Coverall Primer. This is a silicone-based primer, although it doesn't feel silicone-y when you put it on the skin. So I'm going to put this on the right side of my face, and I'm going to leave the left side of my face bare, just so we can see if there's any difference. I usually always do half and half in my foundation reviews. Now, Huda did come out with her own primer. I totally forgot to get a sample of it. I'm gonna take my brush and dip into the cap right here because there's a pretty decent amount of product in the cap. Let's go in with this and see what the coverage is like. Ooh, so far it already looks to be pretty thick and pretty full coverage. Wow. It definitely has a scent to it. It's like, what does this smell like? It's fragrance for sure. So if you don't like fragrance, you probably won't like this. Ooh, it dries so fast. Holy moly. Wow. That's actually a perfect match with my skin tone. But holy crap. That is full coverage. Oh my gosh. She was not messing around when she said it was full coverage. Wow. I really don't even need a second layer. Look at my skin. But this dries so fast, you guys. You really have to work with it. And I do have some scarring over here. It covered it up pretty well. There's one little blemish right here that is still peeking through, but this is for sure full coverage. I might need a little more for my forehead. My gosh. Wow. The description said it's a golden undertone. So if you have a similar skin tone to mine, I think that this foundation would fit your skin tone really well. But you can see, look at the difference between this side that has no foundation on it and this side that has a foundation. Like that is some coverage right there. All right, Huda. All right, girl. I am just going to pick up the tiniest little bit for my forehead, just a little droplet, because this stuff is, a little goes a long way. You don't need a lot of this foundation. And I'm so curious to see how this is going to be with a sponge. If it's going to give me the same coverage as the brush did. Using the L'Oreal Pink Sponge, one of my favorites. I've talked about this before. It was in my September favorites. I'm going to pick some up from the cap, like about that much. This is with a sponge. Holy moly. You guys, like I said, you don't need a lot of this. I have a really bad, like, lip pimple over here, but woo! Oh my gosh, it's still full coverage with the sponge. Covered up my entire face right there. It's still covering up my nose too, whatever is left over on here. This is strong stuff. All right, let's do my forehead. Reminds me a little bit of like an Estee Lauder Double Wear type of coverage. But I feel really matte right now. To me, it dries matte, and I feel like I don't even need to go in with a second layer. I might spot conceal with the foundation right here and just go over that area. I feel like I would use the brush if I was having a really bad breakout, but I like the sponge too. I feel like because this foundation is so full coverage, either one you could get away with, and you're still gonna get a lot of coverage with this foundation. Like, that is crazy, you guys. I don't even think I'm gonna set this with a powder just because I want to see how it does on its own, even though Huda said to set it with a powder, because I just feel really matte right now. I want to see how it's going to wear by itself. I'm gonna go ahead and insert a clip right after this of what my face looks like in natural light before I apply any sort of like blush or bronzer or concealer or anything over it, just so you guys can truly see the foundation.
I got trapped in your eyes the moment you looked at me. From across the room, those eyes kept following me. Something popped in.
Just so you guys know, the fragrance on this foundation is strong. Like, I've had this on for about 10 minutes now, and I still smell it on my face. So the smell kind of doesn't dissipate, it stays on your skin. It kind of has like an old lady perfume kind of smell. Kind of reminds me of like an older Chanel perfume. I can't like pinpoint the scent. Alright guys, so I finished up the rest of my face. I just wanted to come back and show you what it looked like when I had the rest of my makeup on, and I'm gonna have an Instagram tutorial on this whole look. But just to show you guys some of the things I used this Beauty Treats Luxe Nude Palette, which I'm going to do a video on hopefully this week. I'm wearing this, and then I'm also wearing the Anastasia Modern Renaissance shade in Rowdy in the outer corner. And I'm wearing this gold glitter shade from Eye Candy. This is in the shade Candy Coin. I'm wearing the Catrice Cosmetics Lashes to Kill Mascara. Bronzer, I'm testing out the e.l.f. Bronzing Beauty Bronzer Palette. This is the first time I've used this. So far, I really like it. I'm wearing the Studio Pro by BH Total Cover Concealer, and this is the only thing that I set on my face. So just right under here, wearing the Wet n Wild Blossom Glow Mega Glow Highlighting Powder, one of my favorite. Burt's Bees Blush with Bamboo. Ooh, I didn't know there was bamboo in here. And this is in the shade Bare Peach. I don't like that this doesn't go up all the way. This blush is absolutely gorgeous, probably going to be one of my new favorite drugstore blushes. So far, I think the foundation looks pretty good. I still feel like it's full coverage. However, I was just looking in my mirror and I do see it's creasing a little bit on my chin. So I'm going to have to see how this wears throughout the rest of the day. I'm going to do a check-in, so probably around 3 o'clock on my vlog camera, show you a close-up and see how we're looking. I will see you guys in a little bit for my first walking around my house trying to find out the best lighting to show you guys for my check-in. So it's 4 p.m. right now. I've been wearing the foundation for about 4 hours now because I put it on my check-in. I think it was 12. So here's what we're looking like. So I have this spot over here that is definitely showing through my chin. It's broken up a little bit on my chin. You guys see right there that crease? A little close up on my smile lines. It's a little bit creasing on my upper lip. And here's what my skin's looking like. And also on the side of my nose over here, something weird and patchy's going on. And my forehead, I feel like the foundation, I don't know why, I feel like it wore off over here. I don't know why that happened. I don't feel like the foundation oxidized. I don't feel like it is heavy on my skin. I feel like my skin looks pretty good. I'm not too oily or anything. A tiny bit right in my forehead, and I did get a little bit of creasing right there in the center, right there. Overall, I think my skin looks pretty good, even though I have some areas that are kind of breaking up a little bit. I feel like if I go over here, it's too bright. I think it's better to show you guys over here. So those are my thoughts right now. I don't feel greasy either. I'm gonna have to see what it looks like by the end of the night, but so far, you guys, it's pretty good. I'm liking it so far. So I will see you guys a little bit later. I'll probably check in around maybe like 8 or 9 o'clock. Hi guys, so yesterday's final check-in at night was a total fail. I think I'm going to try and insert a clip probably before this one you guys saw with no sound. I fell asleep on the couch and I woke up at 2 a.m. and I was like, no, the foundation review. I was like so mad at myself. So I decided I still really wanted more time with the foundation. I wanted to apply it again. So it actually worked out to be not a bad thing because I wanted another day so I could try it again and give you guys a more detailed review. I just felt like one day with this foundation wasn't enough. So this is day 2 and I put this on at about 10 a.m. Right now it is about 5:30, so I've had this on for a good 8 hours now. Today when I put this on my skin, so here's what I look like today, and as you guys saw throughout this video, my skin is very textured right now. I have a lot of bumps and things going on, so my skin is not the best right now, but this foundation is super full coverage, so it works out in my advantage. But this morning when I was putting it on, oh my gosh, it was so mattifying. And I know today's like a bit of a colder day, it's not as hot anymore, but wow, like if you have dry skin, I don't know if this is going to be the best foundation for your skin type, because it like there was like no moisture whatsoever, and I moisturized and I primed with the Wet n Wild primer today. Same thing as yesterday. I'm wearing the same blush even as yesterday, but it was like super duper matte. So just a fair warning if you have dry skin. I think this is geared more towards oily girls. So I'll zoom you guys in a bit so you can see. I look so weird up close, but creased in the same spot as did yesterday. I creased in the center and a little over here on my nose, and then this side I'm super duper textured on, so maybe this view might be better for you guys. So overall I think the coverage on this foundation is like crazy good. The lasting power I think is decent. Would buy the full size of this because I do think it is good for those of us who have texture and those of us who have acne. Did it completely like blur my pores? No, I don't think it did, but I do think if you have a lot of hyperpigmentation and acne scarring, the coverage is going to be insane for you. Like you can see here though, it did wear off a little bit on the sides of my face. So would I buy the full size of this foundation? I would say yes, I would, just because I don't own anything that has this amount of coverage to it. So I would say yes, I would. The only thing I don't like the fragrance. I think it's way too heavily fragranced, and also that scares me that it might break me out. Yeah, and also yesterday when I took it off, I had a pimple over here, like a whitehead, and I felt like my whitehead was even worse after I took this off. So I have to see if this foundation is going to work with my skin type. Like yes, it covers up your acne, but you don't want it to give you more acne if you're sensitive to fragrance. So I feel like I'm rambling now. I just trying to get everything out so you guys know my thoughts on this foundation. Those are pretty much my thoughts. Gonna keep wearing it throughout the rest of the week or until my sample runs out. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review on the new Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation. If you are oily and you have hyperpigmentation, scarring, and acne, I say go get a sample, give it a try. I am a firm believer in samples, and then maybe wait for the VIB sale if you want to get this foundation for 20% off, or I think, is it 20? Yeah, I think it's 20. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not yet. It'll be the first link in my description box. Make sure you turn on your notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.
I got trapped in your eyes the moment you looked